Welcome again, dear students. In today's lecture, we will discuss endangered species management in India. I will take the example of a success story of tiger. In this lecture, we will discuss how through effective management practices we will revive the species under crisis into a healthy population. As we all know, India is one among the 17 mega biodiversity countries of the world, with only about 2.4% of world's total land area. The country harbors over 18% of the global biodiversity. Thus, managing this diversity is an enormous challenge and responsibility, and also make difficult due to various prevailing threats and the issues. Thus, to provide a conservation blanket on Indian biodiversity, a legislation called Indian Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 came into force. We can say that this is an umbrella legislation for wildlife enforcement in India. As we know, currently we are now living through the six mass extinctions that the earth has ever faced. There were five mass extinctions in the past, the most famous one being at the end of the Cretaceous period when the dinosaurs were actually wiped out. We are now in what is called as Anthropocene extinction. Anthropocene means man, and we are now in the age where natural world is actually largely determined by the actions of the human beings. As we all know that the species do extinct at some rate, but right now we are causing six mass extinction. So extinction rate today for mammals and the birds are more than 100 times the background rate of the extinction in the earth history. So I can say, please be under no illusion. This is a crisis and we are living through a very difficult time in the history of the earth. Before coming to the main topic, let's discuss briefly about the IUCN, because we are using the term endangered again and again. Actually, IUCN was established in 1964. International Union for Conservation of Nature's Red List of Threatened Species was evolved to become the world most comprehensive information source on the global conservation status of the animals. IUCN actually Red List is a critical indicator of the health of the world biodiversity. For more than a list of the species and their status, it is a powerful tool to inform and catalyze action for biodiversity conservation and policy change critical to protection the natural resources we need to survive. It also provides information about the range, population size, habitat ecology, threats, and the conservation actions that will help for the conservation decisions of the particular species. This is how IUCN categorizes the species into 9 categories based on the different threats a species actually face. These are, we can say, extinct, extinct in the wild. Then we have a threatened categories like critically endangered, endangered, and vulnerables. Then the species comes under not threatened categories, that's called near threatened, least concerns, and then in the last one, the species are categorized as unknown status called data deficient and not evaluated. These are the three, we can say, endangered categories, and when the species face the higher level of the threat, they have been categorized on any one of these categories based on the threats they actually faced, and based, we can say, based on their population trend, geographical distribution, population size, number of the mature individuals, and the extinction probability, the species will be categorized as critically endangered, endangered, and vulnerable. According to the IUCN assessments, more than 41,000 species are threatened with extinctions, of which mammals are 27%, amphibian 41%, reptiles 21%, and birds includes 13%. These are some of the critical endangered and we can say endangered mammal species in India. It's hangul, we have Malabar sieverts, we have western hollow gibbons, we have a in-tail macaque, we have Asian elephant, we have also musk deer, brown-antlered deers, we have Nilgiri thor, we have pygmy hawk, then we have also a national animal called tiger, then Asian wild dog, or we have red panda, we have hispid hare, and in the last we have Indian pangolin. Let's start our main topic of today's lecture. In this, we will discuss how the conservation efforts bring back the tiger from the verge of extinctions. Back in the early 19th century, there were about 40,000 tigers in India. Within 7 decades, tiger population decreased to mere 1800. It was shocking and alarming, but also a reflection of the neglect that was being hyped upon the national animals of the India. In light of the huge criticism, the government looked into the issue and initiated steps to revive the tiger population in the country. Project Tiger India was launched in 1st April 1973 as a major wildlife conservation project. It was launched from the Jim Corbett National Park of Uttarakhand. Initially, when the Project Tiger was rolled out in 1973, 19 tiger reserves encompassing an area of 9,115 square kilometers were identified to brought under special protections. By late 1980s, the number of the tiger reserves increased from 9 to 15 with an area of 24,700 square kilometers of the forested land was reserved for the tiger. By 1984, the number of the tigers present in Project Tiger reserves reached above 1100. In the next few years, more and more tiger habitats were added on the Project Tiger. By the year 1997, there were 23 tiger reserves stretched over an area of 33,000 square kilometers were being protected under Project Tiger in India. However, even as the range of the protected areas continued to expand, the number of the tigers did not increase considerably. In December 2004, the nation actually was shocked to know that tiger may have disappeared from the Sariska tiger reserves in Rajasthan. By March 2005, the Wildlife Institute of the India confirmed in its interim report that no tiger left in Sariska. Central Bureau of Investigation was asked to inquire into the disappearance. CBI investigations revealed that since July 2002, poachers had been killed tigers in the reserves, and the last 6 tigers were killed in the summer monsoon of 2004. Consequently, the Ministry of the Environment, Forest and Climate Change set up a tiger task force on April 19, 2005 to review the management of the tiger reserves. Tiger Task Force review the management of the tiger reserves as they actually suggest measures to strengthen tiger conservation in the country. They also suggest measures to incentivize the local community in the conservation of the tigers. They also suggest measures to incentivize local forest staff posted in the sanctuaries, national parks of the tiger reserves. They also suggest how to improve the methodology of the tiger counting, and they also suggest method of transparent professional audit of wildlife parks and placing data on tiger conservation in the public domain. On the basis of Sariska tragedy and the Tiger Task Force recommendation, Government of India has included the Constitution of National Tiger Conservation Authority, that's called NTCA, in the amendment of 2006 of Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. There were 2 remarkable inclusions in this amendment. One is NTCA, National Tiger Conservation Authority, and another is Wildlife Crime Control Bureau. NTCA functions as a statutory body under Ministry of the Environment, Forest and Climate Change for conservation and management of the tiger and tiger habitats in the country. The purpose of the, we can say, NTCA is to provide central assistance to state for tiger reserves based on the tiger conservation plans that includes protection, habitat improvement, day-to-day monitoring, eco-development for local peoples in the buffer areas, voluntary relocation of the people from core or critical tiger habitats, and addressing human-wildlife conflict within guidelines of National Tiger Conservation Authority. And TCA also conducts the country-level assessment of the status of the tiger, co-predator, prey and habitats once in 4 years using the modern techniques as approved by the Tiger Task Force. As survival of the tiger is dependent upon the conservation and the management efforts, to scale the success of the conservation efforts, it is important to assess the effectiveness of the management of the tiger reserves. After disappearance of the tiger in Sariska Tiger Reserve, the Government of India issued a directive to the Office of the Comptroller and Editor Generals of the India and Ministry of the Environment, Forest and Climate Change to conduct the independent audit and place the report in the Parliament. Within that, Wildlife Institute of the India with the global experts and the NTCA developed actually a framework for the independent evaluations procedure to evaluate tiger reserves of the country. Protected area management effectiveness has become increasingly well recognized in both, we can say, developed as well as in developing countries. It has been seen that the declaration of the protected areas does not always result in adequate protections. So, evaluation is necessary as protected areas face many threats. Evaluation is not only a simple way of looking problems, it is an important way to identify when things are going well. It looks both issue within and behind the control of the individual managers. This will help in assisting effective resource allocation, promote accountability and transparency, help improve the community, promote the value of protected areas. India, we can say, is among the selected countries in the world which that have institutionalized the management effectiveness evaluations process under Project Tiger management. Effectiveness management of tiger reserves were conducted. Evaluation of the tiger reserve network have been made after every 4 years from 2006 to 2018 in India. Most significant approach for the tiger conservation and associated landscape connectivity, conservation and management. First cycle included 28 tiger reserves in 2006, second 39 tiger reserves in 2010, third 43 tiger reserves in 2014 and the fourth 50 tiger reserves in 2018. For assessment of management effectiveness evaluations, a framework, I can say 32 criteria headlines were identified. And management effectiveness of evaluation of the tiger reserves, rating of the tiger reserves into 4 categories based on their performance. That is, if it is performed well, means it's more less than 40%, that is categorized as poor, 41 to 459% as fair, 60 to 674% as good, and more than 70% it has been categorized as very good. Tiger reserves carry out law enforcement and ecological monitoring activities at regular interval, but the information generated was ad hoc and it is rarely available to the tiger reserves managers in a format for decision makings. The M stripes has been designated, or we can say designed, to address this gap. It is a platform where modern technology is used to assess effective patrolling, assess ecological status and mitigate human-wildlife conflict in and around tiger reserves. Then NT has also undertaken a number of the milestone initiatives to strengthen tiger conservation in the country, like active managerial interventions for reintroducing tigers in areas where it has been locally extinct. Since June 2008, tigers have been successfully reintroduced actually in Sariska, Rajasthan and Panna, Madhya Pradesh tiger reserves, and restocking of tiger is also done in Sanjay Gandhi tiger reserves and Noradi Wildlife Sanctuary. Actually, realizing the importance of the tiger protection in biodiversity conservation, the Finance Ministry had announced policy initiatives on 29 February 2008 for constituting Special Tiger Protection Force, based on the one-time grant of the 50 crores provided to the National Tiger Conservation Authority for raising, arming and deploying a Special Tiger Protection Force. Special Tiger Protection Force operational in the state of the Karnataka, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Odisha and Assam. It is implemented in the 13 selected tiger reserves initially. Available data and research findings on the tiger ecology indicates that for maintaining a viable population of 80 to 100 tigers in a tiger reserves, a minimum of 800 to 1200 square kilometer of inviolate forest area is required. Creating inviolate space for tigers and other wildlife while focusing on overall development of the local communities has been one of the priority activity of the National Tiger Conservation Authority. Voluntary village relocation program is being implemented in several tiger reserves across India within the twin objectives: empowering the local communities by giving access to the development opportunities and creating inviolate space for tigers so that both can co-occur in harmony. According to Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change of 2022, there are 41,000 families in 496 villages across 50 tiger reserves and around 18,500 families across 215 villages have been relocated till date. There should be a tiger conservation plan in each tiger reserves for the protection of the tiger reserves and providing tiger reserve specific habitat inputs for maintaining a viable population of the tiger, co-predator and prey animals. Ecologically compatible land use in tiger reserves and the area linking one protected area with another protected area are tiger reserves for providing dispersal habitat and the corridors. Out of 52 tiger reserves, the tiger conservation plan of 35 tiger reserves have been approved by the National Tiger Conservation Authority and rest are under preparatory or under scrutiny. The state government shall also establish a tiger conservation foundation for tiger reserves within the states. Tiger Conservation Foundation actually support the tiger reserves management for the conservation of the tiger and associated biodiversity and also taking eco-development initiatives through people participation. In 2013, media coverage regarding spread of CD virus in tiger countries like Indonesia, Russia federations had created sense of insecurity because this disease causing high fever, watery eyes, lethargy, vomiting, diarrhea, paralysis and death of the animals. NTC actually suggested the below mentioned preventive measures in tiger reserves to control any outbreak: vaccination of the cattle, cats and dogs living around the tiger reserves on the regular basis. Incident of the wild dogs showing abnormal behavior must be reported immediately. Tissue of the dead animals collections of the for pathological analysis and periodic checking of the water quality in tiger reserves pre and post monsoon seasons. NT has taken a lot of initiatives for the tiger conservation to further actually can say safeguard the conservation efforts and the tiger to survive into a long-term futures. It is important that the key tiger population remain connected with each other through corridors. The steps have been taken to connect different habitats so that tiger can move freely. Corridor ensures actually genetic exchange through dispersals. Corridor would also serve as a guard against extinction risks caused by the environmental and man-made factors. WWII actually identified corridors after intensive and extensive countrywide survey during assessment of the tigers, prey and habitat assessment done in 2006 and 2010. These were Shivalik Hills and Gangetic Plain landscapes, Central India landscapes and Eastern Ghats, Western Ghats landscapes and Northeast Hills. This is the map of Shivalik Hills and the Gangetic Plain landscape. This is Karbar Dudhwa landscape. This is Dudhwa, Kishanpur and Kataniya Ghat. This is Central India landscape and the Eastern Ghats. And this is Western Ghat landscapes. This is Northeast landscapes. And this map shows that till date we have 55 tiger reserves in India. And this is the map showing the location of the tiger reserves in the different states. Tiger Task Force actually also suggested a countrywide monitoring of the tigers and their ecosystem based on modern scientific protocols developed by the Wildlife Institute of the India. National Tiger Conservation Authority, in collaboration with the state forest departments, conservation NGOs and coordinated by the Wildlife Institute of India, has conducted a national assessment of the status of the tiger, crow predators, prey and their habitat after every 4 years. Since then, first assessment based on the scientific methodology was done in 2006 and subsequently in 2010, 2014, 2018 and 2022. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji released the loss report of the tiger population in 2022 on the completion of the 50 years of the Project Tiger in Mysore, Karnataka. As per the new figure, the population of the big cats in the country has gone up from 2,967 in 2018 to 3,167 in 2022. During the event, Prime Minister also released the government vision for tiger conservation during Amrit Kaal and also launched the International Big Cat Alliance. Government of India, we can say, has shown strong commitment to conserve this iconic species through several management initiatives in the form of amendments to the Wildlife Protection Act, creating National Tiger Conservation Authority, delineating inviolate core areas in tiger reserves, voluntary relocation program, among many others. Management initiatives have been critical in securing the survival of key tiger populations, the biodiversity, and the ecosystem services of the forests they inhabit. As a top predator and a keystone species, a healthy tiger population reflects the health of the environment. Conservation efforts to protect tiger can therefore contribute to the preservation of the healthy herbivore population, other carnivore species, and ultimately the entire ecosystem and its functioning. With this, we end today's lectures, and in the next lecture we will discuss the new topic. Thank you.